sloth is one of these interesting things, because you think sloth, you just think lazy.
Yeah, I think the Greek is more helpful. Acedia.
What is acedia?
And they call that the noonday devil.
Yeah.
So also it would relate to boredom, and that's.
And then let me quote Peter Kraft: "Not boredom in any one activity, like chopping wood for 10 hours a day, but boredom like the sky spread out over everything."
Nice.
Yeah. And particularly, I think Aquinas talks about a sort of unwillingness to engage in spiritual activities or to advance spiritually. It has something to do with the spiritual life in certain circumstances, perhaps.
Yeah, I always think of the description that Cashin gives of the monk who is in his cell, and it's the noonday devil because it seems like the sun is hanging in the sky. Every minute seems an hour long. It seems like I've been at this forever, and the only thing I want to do is escape from my cell.
I mean, I feel that so much. Because you said escape from my cell, and I thought you were going to say self, and I'm like, that's me. This reminds me of Larry, when I'm not in a good place. It reminds me of Larry David. He had this joke. He's like, basically, wherever I am, I want to get the hell out of there. Which is funny, but desperately sad. Like nowhere. Yeah. I don't want to be where I am. I don't want to exist. Something like that or no?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, an inability to find God in this place. And
I remember Richard Rohr. I love him. He's a heretic, but I love him. I remember he had this great line. He said, I was sitting at a traffic light because the light just went red and I was really just frustrated. I want to get through that traffic light. And I said to myself, Richard, if once you're on that other side of the road, you'll be no happier there than you are here.
That's great.
And that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's the contrary to the sacrament of the present moment. Yeah. Thinking that communion lies over there rather than already being present here where I am. Yeah, that God is somewhere else. But the reality is that God is in this moment.
Yeah, how do you come to see that? How do you come to experience God in this moment?
Yeah, well, there's a grace there, but yeah, I think practice, calling on Him. It's in some sense it could be the whole theme of the monastic life of the Rule of Benedict is he sketches out after making that declaration, God is everywhere. He then speaks about that in different elements of the rule. God is there in the guest. God is in the abbot. God is in the youngest. God is in the brother monk. He's in the sick. He's in the work. Host. He's in the podcast host. He's in the dining room. He's in and coming into contact with Him, discovering Him really, being aware, growing in awareness of His presence at every moment. And things like the Jesus prayer, being able to have the prayer ongoing, just making little acts of recollection, developing that habit of God's presence is a beautiful way to discover that. And then those moments, the temptations around acedia become moments where we're invited to go deeper. I don't know how to find God in this moment is another way that we could say that. And so even instead of trying to beat up that vice of acedia, if we could just say, well, this is something is opening up here for me. And I don't know how to find God in this moment. And then if that can turn outward, God, please help me to find you in this moment. I don't know where you are. The way that I'm used to looking for you, I can't find you right now. And that's the kind of transition that we find in the nights of John of the Cross, that I run into my own limits of what I know how to do well, ways I know how to love God, serve Him well, pray well, meditate well. And running into my limits, I can either run for the hills or I can stay in it and allow something new to open up. So the imagery around night is that my primary sense organ isn't working now because it's dark out. And I need to learn to navigate by a different sense organ. So no longer by sight, but by faith, no longer by meditation, but contemplation, no longer by my own strengths, but learning to trust and reach out in my weakness, whatever that might be, that is the place of growth for me.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.